and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be playing some more F1 Manager 2022. We're coming up to the Spanish Grand Prix in 11 days. In terms of what else we're doing, I think we're waiting mainly for car parts to be developed. Yeah, about 20 days to get those available. So I think we've got a couple more races probably until then. Money's a little low as well. We're upgrading quite a few things. Design centre as well. So I think what we're going to do, we're just going to advance to the race, I think. Says, I think we used a front wing in the last race, didn't we? So let's make another one of those. Yep, that's fine. Boardroom, and that's important to try and make sure we don't get sacked. So hopefully the board will like me a bit more now. We could push it up again. Makes the team more attractive, which is important for attracting better staff and drivers, I think. So we're going to invest even more in that in an effort to cling to our job. Manufacturing done, that's fine. Okay, yeah, so our parts are starting to wear down a little bit. So what we're going to do, as the powertrain, the engine, the gearbox and the ERS system start degrading, get into this yellow warning period, we'll use them for practice, and then for qualifying in the race we'll actually switch them out for our better parts. Spanish Grand Prix, Verstappen, la la. Jack Crawford, high potential. He's only rated at 59. I mean, I guess we could take a little look at him. Sure. I've actually got a scout who's not doing anything at the moment. If any of these top drivers are interested in coming to us, I might just scout them out first. Actually, we're going all the way down here and no one is interested in joining us. How low do we have to go till anyone's interested? Wow, we're down to Hulkenberg. Jahan de Ruvela. He is quite young. Let's actually scout him in detail. Team hub's complete, so that's going to mean our staff are getting more experience per week. The team's a bit more attractive. Might even push it up again. Morale for drivers and even more experience for the staff. I think that's good use of money. Let's actually go to our staff, because they do get development points as well. I just want to make sure we're not missing out on something here. Doesn't look like it at this moment. But that's fine. So we'll look at our race targets. So, reach Q2. Well, I think that's a reasonable goal. I think qualifying in 10th is possible. I feel like it's probably still a bit early in our development to try and target that. Fastest lap, definitely not. Qualifying streak 12th, I think we can try and manage that. So those are fine. Let's go to the race.
Formula One has cranked up the heat over Barcelona. The first Grand Prix held here was won by Nigel Mansell after a wheel-to-wheel battle with Ayrton Senna. But who will follow in his footsteps this weekend? Long straights and medium-speed turns dominate here, but there's something else to watch out for at Barcelona. The air currents are strong and unpredictable, and they'll be giving aerodynamic components a real run for their money this weekend. We might still be early in the season, but that doesn't mean we can sit back and relax. Everything is up for grabs, and nothing is certain at this stage. There's nothing like a race weekend in Formula One.
Mansell and Senna, well, that takes me back. Okay. Just check that all looks dry, doesn't it? That's good. Alright, car 1, we're going to remember to put Theo in the seat now. For practice. We're going to have a look at our car parts. Yeah, so these are the degraded ones. So we'll just keep those in for now. When we come to the race, we've got to remember, and qualifying, we've got to remember to switch those out. Likewise here. I might just change the run plan a bit, because we keep missing out on the feedback. Let's make it 18 laps. And I might change the tyres to medium as well. Otherwise, that looks fine. Let's go to practice.
Radio check. Yeah, all good.
Sending Theo out first.
Right.
Get Norris out. What I'll do is I'm just going to skip ahead to the end of these runs, and we'll see how close we got in this first effort. I mean, they're all set to the medium just by default at first. I could change that round, but I don't really see the point when you don't know what you're aiming for anyway. So when we come back, we'll see how we get on. Okay, well, we're getting towards the point they're going to be giving their feedback, and I'll probably bring them in early as they haven't quite got to the end of their 18-lap run yet. 33 there.
How's the balance?
Balance is bad, but that's fine. And on car 2... Oh, hang on. Let's reconfigure this first. Okay, well we know with these three we pretty much got to take them to the right and this to the left, so that can achieve some of that. Let's actually move that out there, so let's keep that there. That brakes one we can kind of put back where it should be. Let's try that. It's not perfect, but let's try that for now. We've still got loads on our tyres. Let's just send that out as well. Let's bring it back a couple of laps. Norris
okay?
at 29%, so let's bring him in.
Is everything okay with the car? It doesn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right. It's 29%.
Copy.
So this is quite good, because I think, you know, we've obviously got where we've got to take these things. So again, let's start off by taking this up there. And this we've got to bring back this way. Let's keep pushing those out. Got to bring that back, and then the braking we've got to bring in. Actually taken that too far, haven't we? Those look okay. This one needs to come in a bit. Those look okay. So what can we do about that middle one? Okay, we'll try that. Keep the same tyres on. Let's bring the run down a couple of laps. Send him out again. So when we come back, we'll see how we get on for this run. So here we are back at the race. Should be about to get final feedback from Theo here. I thought we'd just sit in the cockpit for this. Hoping for a reasonable one here. I'd hope for over 50%, honestly. I guess we'll see. He's already got his 500 development points there, which is good. Oh, it takes a long time to go from 4 out of 5 to 5 out of 5, but it should be going there any minute now, I would think. %, parts knowledge is quite good, but I think both cars are on that because we haven't changed any parts out for a couple of races now, I don't think. I'm interested to see next season whether the track knowledge resets to 0 or whether they retain it from the previous season. I would hope so. but I don't know. Go on, Theo. Give us 5 out of 5. Here we go. 30. Wow. Okay, that's
So
still
just online,
terrible.
If you give us some feedback on tools and what we can look
Call
at.
Theo in. Let's have a look at Norris. Should be getting his final feedback through quite soon as well. Okay, I think Theo's going to be in the garage, so let's pop over to his car when he's in. Let's see, what's so bad about this? Huh. Okay, well the good news on this one is that we know which way that's got to go. I've got to bring that in a notch. Need to send that one that way, really. But that's okay, because we're getting this one now as well. And the braking, can we bring that back? We can. I think that one, we could even nudge that out further. Actually, we need to bring that back a notch. I'd like to send that one further along, but let's see how we get on with that. Well, we'll set it up, but we won't send him out again. Well, there might be enough time, actually, to get a bid anyway. How you doing, Norris? Come on, 5 out of 5. I thought I'd done quite well on his setup, so I'm hoping he's going to be a better improvement than on car 1. Okay, let's speed this up. There he goes. He's feeling great, 90%. Well, I did have a good feeling about that one, so let's call him in, and we'll try and get it up even further. So here he is. Not too bad. Is that traction one we can move a little bit? That one we can move a little bit. And can we kind of just nudge those ones back to optimal? That feels good. That's you know, minor tweaks, but we'll do that. And I'll send them out for the rest of the session then. You might be able to get a few ticks on that. Okay, so that's the end of that session. I'm just going to go and finish up with everyone crossing the line. We didn't get to 5 out of 5 or anything close to on that last one, but that's okay. Let's go straight to P2. So let's have a look at the setup on car 1, because we might have narrowed it down a little bit more. We've got 4 out of 5, so this one's great. That one's only good, so we could... Oh, that was its best. So maybe if it's closer to there, that would be better. I feel like I could move that a bit more. Well, let's try that, and then we'll do enough laps on that, and hopefully get closer. I'll have a quick look at this, but I think it's probably largely fine. The two that we know about are optimal, so let's not play with that anymore. Let's stick another lap on though. There we go. Let's go to P2.
Radio check, radio check.
Send Norris out first.
Yep,
Send
radio is
Ricardo
good.
out.
Drink's good.
And when we come back, we'll see how they do on this run. Okay, we're close to the feedback now with Norris. We're hoping for an improvement on 90. See what we get to. 93. Okay, let's call him in. We can probably get a little bit better on that one. Okay, he's in the garage. Ooh, yeah. So everything's optimal except for this one, braking stability. We can actually, that's actually the easiest one to change. If I could stick it, if I stick it there, then I know I can move it back if it worsens. So let's do the same run. Get straight back out there.
That sounds like someone's gone wide there. Let's see what happens.
Before we pause, we're going to look at Hamilton running wide.
Watch the Mercedes here.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh,
go
and he's
wide, right off the racing line.
bumped someone off as well. Cool. All right. Well, we'll come back when we're doing Alonso's car. Not Alonso, Ricciardo's car. Okay, back in the garage with Ricciardo. It's only 66%, and there's a couple here I'm just not getting close to, and that's a bit annoying. Well, this one's easy enough. We'll just take that all the way out there. Then everything else has moved. Ooh, that might not... Can we just bring it back a notch? Let's try that, because the greats are slightly moved, the bads are more greatly moved. So let's try that.
Someone's run wide.
When we come back, we'll see how run 2 goes. Okay, so we're back in the garage with Norris, and actually he's got to 97%, so I think I'm going to leave that where it is. May even simulate P3, and they may be able to, get another percentage point on that. But we'll keep him in. We're pretty close now to Ricciardo, coming up to 4 out of 5, so let's stick with him. He was on 66 before, so I've had a little trouble dialing in car 1 for this race. I hope that he'd get 5 out of 5 quite soon. God, I'm hoping we've got a good score on his car now. I've just haven't quite managed to get to grips with it. 5 out of 5. His tyres are going to give out soon.
Yeah, the rear is taking a bit of a hit.
Yep, will do.
That doesn't make any sense.
So I need to look after these tyres.
No, you don't. You just need to tell us what the car feels like. Come on, give it a score out from 1 to 100. Come on, Danny boy. $90.
How's the
Right,
balance?
let's call him in and we'll see if we can improve on that.
Everything's pretty stable. Nice one, guys.
Understood.
Yeah, there'll probably be, I don't think we'll be able to send him out on another run, but we might be able to do something with this. So the braking, let's push out towards that way. Stick with that. And I might take P3. Just to try and improve on car 1. I think car 2 is fine. 97%. Happy with that. But when we come back, we'll be at P3.
Radio
Right.
check.
So it's P3. We're going to send.
Confirm.
We're going to keep Norris in, I think.
Very
Let's
nice.
just deal with Ricciardo today. We need to do a run on this setup and see what he thinks of it, and when we come back, we'll find out.
And if you give us some feedback on tools and what we can look at.
Everything's
Okay,
pretty stable.
so we're coming back to
That's
Ricciardo.
nice.
He's heading to the garage now. We look like
Understood.
87% on the setup, so we've got a chance just to give that a final tweak now before qualifying. So let's see what we can do. I mean, we should, have a good guide as to where we've got to zero in on at this stage, I would imagine. Just for whatever reason, we haven't been able to get any better on this one. So it's that cornering, and we need to take it back the other way. So that is it this one? So the grate's moved a little bit optimal. We want to swing back. That's not too hard though on this slider. That's great. That's moved a little bit. Okay, we'll give that a go. We'll go back out on these tyres, honestly. Let's do that. So when we come back, we'll see how we get on in the final run of practice. Okay, so we're back. He's about to head back into the garage, and we got him to 94% in the end. So I think it's been a bit of a battle to get in there, but we're just going to stick with that now.
Do you need any help with
See if there's anything obvious here on the setup. Not really. Well, okay. But to be honest, I think we'll just leave it where it is. And when we come back, we're going to be in qualifying. Okay, so this is where we've finished up. 94% car 1, 97% car 2. They've both got a 13 out of 15 sort of boost to their stats for the race. It's quite nice. Round about 50% track acclimatization. That's okay. So we're going to go into qualifying now. Now we need to remember to put all our good parts in the car. So we're going to switch to a better engine here. ERS is fine, but we're going to change the gearbox. Let's use gearbox 2. And then similarly in car 2. Engines are 50. I might switch to a new engine and then continue to use that first engine for practice. The gearbox needs to change though. And ERS is looking okay for the time being. Not much to say really. But I'm going to take charge of the qualifying, at least qualifying 1, and see if I can make any difference at all to our performance. Alright Danny, you go.
Okay, radio check.
Alright, we'll get Norris going. And we'll be assuming direct control over these two. Let's just speed up the outlap. And then when they come to the flying lap, I think probably around this bend, we'll whack everything up to the top. So getting there now, sticking the cockpit view. Alright, let's pause it here. We're going to stick everything up to max. Leave Norris a little bit longer.
So pick up the pace. Pick up the pace.
Okay.
We can push a bit more. Confirm.
Hey, come on, Daniel. I expect we'll probably end up doing a second lap close to the end of the session, probably with about 5 minutes remaining. It's quite clear ahead of us, which is good. We do have I think it's a Haas Not sure which one. But they're still quite far away. We are starting to catch up to them a bit now. Hopefully they'll let us pass. Okay, they are going to start being a bit of a hindrance maybe, or maybe we'll just get past on the last bit of straight. I don't think we'll need to. I think we're going to go past anyway. Right, so that is 119.398. And Norris has done it in 119.313. So let's speed up, and we will see how that measures up against the other drivers. So remember, we want, when this gets down to about 5, well, let's reconfigure now so they are ready to go out. I think we'll go back on this set of tyres. I'll hit pause when it gets down towards 5, and then we'll send them both out. We're still up there. I mean, it's not looking too bad right now. And we're going to start dropping down when the Ferraris, etc., do their runs. But I think we can be pretty happy with that so far. We're going to need to do a second run. Oh, it's got to under 5 minutes. Let's send out one, then send out the other. Actually, we're going to need to take manual control. Need to pause. And then when we get round to that final bend again, then we'll turn everything up again once more. I feel like cars are going to start drifting out ahead of us though when they come in to do their second runs. Assuming they do. They may not. I think they probably will. No one's moving yet. Right, let's turn Daniel up to the max.
Let's push.
Understood.
Let's get Norris attacking as well.
Head down.
Confirm.
Magnussen's got a grid penalty by the look of it. No one else is coming out yet. I do expect them to see them coming out, but that's fine because we're on our flying lap now, so basically both our drivers have clear track ahead of them. Hopefully can get a good score again. So who's ahead of us at the moment? In both Ferraris, both Red Bulls, Alonso, Hamilton, and that's it. I mean, that's not bad. We're ahead of Russell, Ocon. Does this bode well, I wonder? Everyone's coming out for a second run now. I think Ricciardo's feels like quite a strong lap. I mean, I'm just basing that on the fact that Norris seems quite far behind. And because they've all come out at the same time, I wonder, you know, are they going to be able to put good laps in when everyone's in everyone else's way? Maybe not. It looks like the Williams are at the front there.
Caution on the battery.
So Ricciardo,
Roger.
how did you do? No improvement, is that? And Norris?
And DRS is disabled. DRS disabled.
Norris shaved a
Yeah,
couple of tenths a second off, but I think Ricciardo's second run was... Well, you're talking distance, aren't you, to the car ahead? So, or behind the leader, rather. Yeah. What was the actual time? There we go. So, See, I don't get this. Why is he 140? 9 minutes. I don't really understand that. I don't understand what this means either. Oh, flying lap. Yeah, I get it. So I'll stick with this one. At least I can understand what's happening here. Session's almost finished. We'll just speed it up a little bit. Let everyone finish off their lap. We'll be coming in now. Let's actually speed it up now. We're in the garage and... Ooh. Yeah, we're dropping down at 9th and 10th. I mean, that's kind of where I'd expect us to be, honestly. So... Oh, 11th, 12th. That's a bit lower. However, we made it to Q2, so that's the main thing. I mean, I'm tempted to sim it and just see if they can do any better than I can. It's probable they can't, but you never know. Both out. 14th and 15th. Maybe I should have done it. Maybe I'll take all the qualifyings from now on. I seem to just be able to do a little bit better than the AI. But that's okay. So we're going to be in the race now. Let's have a look at strategy. So I figured out the weather thing now. So at the top of the race strategy screen, you can see weather predictions for the whole race. And the top number is percentage chance of rain. So it should be dry. But at some points of the race, there's almost a 50-50 chance of it raining. So we've got to be prepared for that. It's 65 laps by the look of it. I think I'm going to add a new strategy. Let's go... No, not wets. Let's start on mediums, and we can say that we're going to be driving fairly aggressively. Let's add a new stint on hard tyres, and we'll bring those in at around lap 30. We might be able to run it a lap or two beyond that. But that feels pretty good. So we're going to go D. And then for Norris, we're going to do the same thing in reverse. So let's start on hards, aggressive, and then we'll say we're going to go to mediums, aggressive, and probably around 35, something like that. Let's say 36, and then if we might be able to push it a lap or two more, but by and large that looks like it should be okay to get us to the end of the race. So there we go. Driver options, let's just make sure we start the race in like high mode. And let's go.
It's sunny and bright as the drivers line up on the grid. One of the oldest races on the Formula One calendar. This is the Spanish Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
Right, who are we going to stick with? I guess we stick with Norris. Let's go cockpit view. Got some stuff to do here. Well, he's already gained a place. I maybe could have taken a bit more fuel on so we could push a bit harder, but we'll try and manage that in the race. Ricardo's dropping. Ricardo's probably on my shit list now.
Good job there.
But I think, given the cost to get rid of him, we might have to keep hold of him till next season, or to the end of this season.
And McLaren with a great overtake.
I'm still playing my Alpine campaign alongside. There's actually a few races ahead, and the reason I bring it up is that it was quite interesting for the last few races in that save.
Gain a position.
There have been loads of retirements in the races. I think one of them may have been Azerbaijan, not sure. There were like 4 retirements from the race in different incidents. So that was, yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Look. Now let's look at this. The focus on Sonoda.
Ricardo's back up there.
That's a lockup.
So yeah, so I hope to see a bit more of that. And also there was a lot more rain in the races. I think starting with the Canadian Grand Prix, it was very mixed conditions, and it was yeah, it was quite good fun having to sort of judge when you're supposed to put on the inters and the wets and stuff, and trying to optimise the race strategy. I actually completely Ferrari'd it as well, because the rain had stopped near the end of the race and the track was drying up. So although Alonso was in second, a little way behind, I think it was Verstappen, I thought if I just nip in and put on, a set of like a soft set of tyres for the last 6 laps or so, we should be able to overtake them if he doesn't come in. But it didn't work out like that, and it was terrible. I think I nearly got the sack where we finished instead of finishing 2nd and 4th, we finished 15th and 16th or something. It was, humbling. So I learned a lesson there. On lap 2, still pretty clumped together. Can't really push it any harder. I might even drop it down to aggressive now. And keep an eye on the fuel for the time being. But we're close to activating ERS, so
think about the liftoff.
We'll push when we get that.
Yep, understood.
It'd be nice to try and finish in the points again, but
DRS is enabled.
I think we're kind of at the point where we need these 2 new parts that we're getting in 20 days time. So I think we've got another race on this setup, and then the really good new parts come in, and hopefully when they're in place, we can start to push a little bit into sort of 8th, 9th place sort of thing, instead of 11th, 12th. So I don't think there's a huge difference between these teams. It's just we're kind of at the bottom of this lower mid-table set of teams, like AlphaTauri, Alpine, even Mercedes, not that good. But with the extra parts, we can maybe look to be finishing reliably. Oh, someone's spun off. We'll have a look at the replay of that. I think it must have been Magnussen who was ahead of us. We'll see what happened there.
All eyes on Kevin Magnussen here. That lockup could have cost them dearly.
There you go, he's in the gravel. So he should be last by now.
The team are really disappointed with that.
Yep, there he is, last as a result of that. Pushed us up a place, so not moaning. Let me try for the overtake.
Overtake is available. Overtake available.
Yep, understood.
So we're coming up for the straight now, aren't we? So let's give it everything for the straight.
We do not require any fuel liftoff.
Okay, understood.
Actually, the 2 AlphaTauris are dueling. I think Tsunoda's got it. Maybe not. I think Tsunoda is round Gasly, and I think we're trying as well. God, we've got someone coming. That's Ricardo. Danny's trying to redeem himself to me. Okay, let's leave it in high mode for now. We're coming up to the home straight again. I think we've got round Gasly. Got Tsunoda now.
You're looking good at the moment.
Oh, Gasly's coming back. But hopefully we've got enough
And McLaren with a great overtake.
grunt to stay ahead of him. He's right there. Come on, let's push it for this straight. Oh god, he's just shot off again. Not sure what happened there.
AlphaTauri gained a place.
Just look after this tyre set though. Look after it.
Understood.
Okay, let's speed it up a little bit now.
Slow down now.
Yeah, confirm.
We're comfortably ahead of Mick Schumacher. Dueling it out with the AlphaTauris. Got around Gasly again. Still can't really make any great gains on Tsunoda, although he's done it.
McLaren
Just as I was saying that.
position.
And Norris is around Gasly as well now.
No
Nope,
DRS.
Gasly
No
overtook.
DRS for him.
Second and a half behind Ocon.
We are out of DRS.
Understood.
So we're in the points places now. Comfortably ahead of Tsunoda now. Still not really catching Ocon. See how Norris is getting on. You could probably push a bit more on the fuel. Couple of straights, no. God, points, they'll just accelerate away from us almost at will. I'm trying to understand what that denotes, you know, what we need to improve to stop that happening. Could be the driver. I don't think Norris is the most aggressive driver on the track. Now he's caught up again. I think in fact we're round Gasly. Let's just support him a bit in that. We'll go for a push and an attack. Could be an interesting, maybe they're just using it better. I still don't really have a clear understanding of that. You know, I'm quite happy when we've overtaken a car, switching it to defend, or if we've got to overtake a car, switching it to overtake. But beyond that, the finer points of ERS management elude me a little bit. Like here it's on overtakes, I feel like we should be doing well, but then the guy just accelerates away from me. Like I feel in this mode we should be able to take him, but it's just not really happening. Need to save on the fuel a bit now as well. See, I turned everything down and now we're closer to Tsunoda again. I just don't quite understand. We've got a bit of charge now, so let's go to overtake and attack. I'll leave the fuel where it is for now. There we go, we got round in this time. And let's go back down to neutral. Tsunoda is quite close. I might switch that to defend. I mean, I know we've only got a little bit of charge, but... Well, we've kind of settled into our 10th, 11th spot now. I mean, sometimes we're able to go a little bit higher than that, but I feel like the Alpines are just that much faster than us. This feels very much like the tier we're just expected to be at now. See what the tyres people are using. So Tsunoda's actually on softs, which is interesting. It's possible that the drivers starting out on softs are going to go for more of a two-stop strategy, which would be good, because it would mean we'd overtake the likes of Ocon. Maybe secure a spot above Tsunoda. We are being fairly harsh on the tyres ourselves, it must be said. Switch to Danny Rick. He's out in front, losing ground on Ocon. Not by a huge amount, but you know, a tenth of a second per lap or something like that adds up. As soon as I say that, he starts making gains on him. Norris and Tsunoda are still almost neck and neck. There he goes, he sent it.
I think there's been a lock-up.
Come on, Gasly's right there as well. Why did they suddenly...
Position gains for AlphaTauri.
Why are they suddenly so much faster? Unless they were harvesting the ERS and they've just, you know, sent it to go past Norris at that point, maybe? We'll just deploy it. So he's like a second ahead of us now. Feels like we're destined to do battle with AlphaTauri until we've got these new parts in our car. Maybe we can start pushing the likes of Alpine. I don't know how McLaren thought that we would be, you know, mixing it for 5th in the Constructors. Seemed a bit unlikely. So who's better than us? We've got Ferraris 1, Red Bull 2, Mercedes 3, Alpine 4, arguably Alfa Romeo 5, which leaves us 6th, which I think is what we are. So, you know, we're pretty much spot on where we're supposed to be in terms of how good our car is. See, now we're getting past Tsunoda again, and I don't. All I've done is to make us less aggressive. So I didn't understand. Maybe I shouldn't do anything. Maybe all I do is hold us back.
Great overtake.
Let's just stick that in neutral as well. I'm sticking with Norris as opposed to Ricciardo for the time being, just because it seems like this is where the drama is. Tsunoda just shot past us again.
AlphaTauri gained a place.
What are his tyres doing? Well, I might speed up the race even more. You know, we seem to be in this sort of middle part of the race where we're waiting for everyone to start pitting. So we'll leave it here for a little bit. So Tsunoda's overtaken Norris again. We'll probably see a bit of them swapping.
They just had a car run wide.
Oh, let's have a look at
Let's take a
Albon.
look at the replay. Now watch this. Here's the moment involving Albon. And they've gone wide, very wide.
I mean, they did. Probably hasn't done an awful lot. Oh, okay, we're starting to see pits now. I think Tsunoda must have been one of them. So what tyres has he put on? He's gone for mediums. So soft and medium, I don't think is going to get you to the end of this race. So I'm thinking he's perhaps doing a two-stop strategy. And this is where we can really make gains on some of these drivers. So we're still on 60% tyres. 5th and 6th now. Okay, let's pop back to the cars and see how they're getting on. So Norris still nearly 5 seconds behind Ricciardo, who's 3 odd seconds behind Perez, and I don't think any of these cars have pitted yet. Oh, they have. They've pitted and they're still ahead of us. Okay, fair enough. to see what effect this has. So we're actually about to enter our pit window, but honestly, I feel like we can keep going a bit longer. Probably around lap
Sounds like someone's
32.
locked up.
Have a look
Here's
at
the
Ocon.
replay. Now have a watch of this. Looks like Ocon. Well, they've locked up.
Oh, was that a bump into the wall? Oh, it
was.
was as well. I mean,
That's going to be a big blow to the team. Will they?
you would think looking at that crash, it's a potential retirement. I don't think he is, though. I mean, it looked like his whole front wing got taken off. That's another thing that people have commented on this game. I noticed, especially on the Steam forums, saying that the damage modelling could be more realistic. Like a smash like that, you expect that car is effectively retired because he's going to limp along to the pits, get that changed. I mean, he's lost the race, hasn't he? So that would be good. I mean, it's good when it happens to other cars. I guess it's not so good when it happens to you. So that's kind of it's a double-edged sword, really, that, isn't it? Be interesting to see where we come out of the pits. I mean, it's possible we could be 9th and 10th. I'm just wondering how many of these cars are going to pit again. I would think the Mercedes will. I think maybe the Alpines would as well. Maybe the Alpha. Anything that's on these medium tyres. I mean, there's still over half the race to go. And someone like Ocon's already on 88% on his mediums. Then you've got Tsunoda and Gasly down there as well. Right, has anyone not pitted yet? Yeah. See, the people like Zhou and Magnussen, I think, are on a similar strategy to us. They're trying to go for a one-pit strategy. But this has probably settled into a pattern now for the next few laps. Let's just... oh. Someone else is locked up. We'll have a look at the replay when that comes up. See, Ocon is just proceeding as if nothing happened.
Was that a lock-up on the track? Let's
Oh, that was
see what
Norris.
happened there. Now just take a look at the McLaren. And yes, that's the lock-up.
So where's Norris now? Hamilton right behind him. It cost him about 4 seconds, I think that. And again, you'd think it could have been worse. Okay, we're going to sort of go quick until we get to sort of around lap 32, which is when I think we'll look to bring Ricciardo in. Unless something else happened. We'll ignore the optimal pit window because we've got...
Looks like there's been a lock-up. We can take a look now.
I'll tell you what.
All eyes on Kevin Magnussen.
Earlier I mentioned in other races
And
I've
this,
played that I've seen
that's
retirements
the
and
lock-up.
lockups and stuff, and I'll tell you what, 80% of them are Kevin Magnussen. I don't know why. Maybe the game has it in for him, or maybe there's something in his stats that make him more likely to do that. I don't know. But he does seem to be involved in a lot of those incidents in this game. I mean, we could keep going for a while longer here. So let's just keep going until he gets down to about 35%, I guess. Looks like another incident. Hamilton's overtaken
Just had a
Norris now.
spin. Let's have a look.
Albon spun.
Now we see the Williams here. And
Ooh.
this, yes, this is where they spun out.
I think Albon was last anyway, wasn't he? He's probably going to be even more so now. Well, no, he's got Latifi behind him, of course. Okay, so we're in that pit window. Again, we're going to just keep going. Ricciardo's getting close to the pit window, I would... where I want to take him in, I think. Maybe we'll let this pit go. And then maybe we'll come in the following one. Feel bad for Norris. I think it's going to be hard to make that back up. We basically need to race a flawless race to finish both drivers in the points and hope that other stuff goes in our favour. So something like a lock-up or a spin is pretty fatal to our chances. Still 37%. Might let it go in. No. We'll come in now. I think that's sensible, isn't it? So where do we think we'll come out? I think probably maybe behind Alonso, maybe 10th. It would be my guess. I'd take less than that if offered. Yeah, so we're down to 7th now. Russell's quite far behind, it must be said, but he's going to... No, he's overtaken. And Alonso, so yeah, I was... Maybe Bottas as well. There he goes. 10th, which is pretty much where we were before everyone started pitting, wasn't it? So, you know, all that racing, it hasn't made a lot of difference. He's ahead of Ocon, who I think is probably going to have to pit anyway. Again. See, I just don't see how these mediums are going to last another 30 laps. We'll do a couple more with Norris. We'll probably try to get to 38 maybe. Let's stick with him now.
Caution on the battery.
Okay.
See, Magnus... Oh, you missed that, but... or I missed it, rather. You probably saw it, but Magnussen ran wide again on a turn. And he's still ahead of Schumacher. Oh, looks like we've just overtaken Hamilton. He might come back.
I think someone's run wide. Let's
That
take
could
a
be
look
good
at the
for us.
replay.
Bottas.
Now we see Valtteri Bottas. Oh dear.
Lost a bit of time, but not enough for us to overtake him. But Ricciardo has closed the gap by about 2 seconds, I think, on him. Something else has happened. It's probably Magnussen again.
Seems to have been a lockup.
Vettel.
Here's the replay.
So I think we're getting a
Taking
lot
look
more
again.
instant
It
in this
involves
race than we were
Sebastian
doing
Vettel, and there's the lockup.
on the
It
previous
almost got
ones.
away from them entirely.
Vettel's right down there now. And I haven't noticed any updates, so I mean, I guess there's an element of randomness to it. Right, we're going to let this pit go past, and then we're going to program one in for the following lap, I think. Right, yeah, we're going to come in and we're going to change to mediums. That's where Norris is going to end up. I would think if Norris could come in behind Ricciardo, I'd be pleased with that, but I suspect maybe behind Ocon. Switch to Ricciardo now. Doesn't feel like we've got much of a chance of catching Bottas, even with that running wide.
Yeah, I confirm landing for lane.
Norris going into the pits. And I predict he'll be 12th when he comes out. What happened? Why is Ricciardo now 10 seconds behind Bottas? I didn't notice anything happen with Ricciardo. No, he's... Yeah, 3 seconds. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about. There we go. So, yeah, Norris behind Ocon. Not making any ground really on Bottas. I think we'll probably speed this up again, going into what I think will be another set of pitting for some of these teams. Ooh, big crash. Let's try and see this. Safety car. Ooh. Hang on.
Who's that just crashed?
Right, we're going to watch the
Let's see
replay
what
first, and then I'll
happened
turn up
Now
the
look at
settings
this.
down.
It's Pierre Gasly.
Gasly and Tsunoda. Oh, they've taken each other
That's
out.
the contact there.
I mean,
Oh,
that
there's chaos on the
should be
track.
retirements, no? Yeah, Gasly's out. He's retired. And Tsunoda, he's gone 0% on tyres, so he might end up retiring as well. But we've got safety cars. Let's whack everything down. And we're going to speed up for while the safety car's out. Don't need to pit. We pitted recently. Okay, yeah, I know. Oh. I know.
Oh, did someone run wide?
Oh,
there?
Magnussen
We can
has
take a
run
look
wide
now.
again.
Now just focus on the Haas.
Yeah, it was a minor incident though, wasn't it? Not compared to the crash anyway. So safety car, all the cars are kind of catching up with each other now.
Safety car in this lap. It will be in this lap.
I don't believe that anyone pitted. So I think they're still going to be pitting before the end of the race. We're looking pretty good with tyres. We'll pause it just as the safety car. Is that normal conditions resumed? I think it is. So let's attack, push, deploy, attack, push, deploy. We're going to stick with Ricardo. Like this.
You're doing what?
Right, this gives us a chance to potentially catch up to some people.
McLaren
Or lose ground
gained
on
the
people.
position.
Ocon's caught right up to Norris now. But Gasly and Tsunoda have both retired. So, I mean, that's good for us because AlphaTauri was actually just below us in the constructors' standing. So if we can finish in some points here, that would be really good. I mean, if we could overtake Bottas, as it seems like we're about to do, that would be good. Because, I mean, Alfa Romeo are quite a distance ahead of us, I think, in the
Fantastic
constructors. But if we can, you know, try and eat into that a little bit, that would be very good. Oh, I'm pleased we've seen some incident in this race.
And
That's
McLaren with a great overtake.
yeah, we saw us overtake. Norris in 9th now. Norris has done it. Yeah, no, I'm pleased we've seen some incident because it's. I think the first few races have been fairly free of it, whereas this is there's been a lot going on. It's been good.
I think there's been a lock-up.
Magnussen again. All right, let's watch
Let's
this.
have a look. All eyes on Kevin Magnussen.
I don't know why this game has it in for
Oh,
Kevin
they've lost
Magnussen.
it. They've locked up.
Do you see what I mean, though, about like 80% of the incidents involving Magnussen? I don't know why.
So focus on just bringing your tyre temperatures back under control for the moment.
Bit of overheating going on, but we've got potential overtake on George Russell here. Oh, if people start pitting again, I mean, it won't be soon. But if people are going to be pitting again before the end of the race, I mean, that would give us the chance to really climb a few spots. We appear to have overtaken Russell. We've got Alonso next.
Simply lovely. Come on, mate.
We're just sending it now on the tyres and the fuel, which we've kind of been preserving until now. Can we get past Alonso? Wily veteran campaigner, Fernando Alonso. Who actually is on, as I said, I am playing an Alpine campaign, and Alonso is just brilliant in that. I've actually won a couple of podiums with him. I think he's won a couple of races, actually. It's another comment people have made, is that the older drivers are perhaps not degrading. They're still increasing in skill. Even Alonso, age 40, is still slightly increasing in skill. Whereas perhaps you'd expect like a natural deterioration to be taking place, which hasn't happened. So that's something
Yeah,
again. Maybe they'll look
is
to
equal, yeah,
update in or
is
patch
equal.
in or something.
Yeah, confirm.
Okay, well we try to get.
Alpine just
I think.
advanced.
DRS.
Yeah, I think Russell's going to get us as well. I keep bringing up a lot of things that are less than desirable in this game, but I am having a lot of fun with it, and you know, it's only been out at this point for 2 days officially. I did pre-order, so I was able to play it 5 days before the official release date, which is why I've done a few of these videos now. But I think there is talk of an update to come, and hopefully they'll address some of this stuff. And it's little tweaks it needs, I think, more than big overhauls, because I think it is a lot of fun. For someone like me, anyway, who perhaps isn't au fait with a lot of the technical stuff in motorsport and Formula 1 in particular.
Okay, well done.
I like it for the drama and the stories it generates more than the technical aspects of car performance and stuff. I think
Okay.
that's how I would call it.
Alrighty.
Oh, we're smashing Alonso on that straight.
It's a good stint so far.
We're 6th, and potential pits to come.
McLaren gain a position.
I mean, Danny Rick is earning himself a place back in my good graces at this rate. Let's see. 20 laps to go. I mean, it's possible. It's also possible they'll just try and conserve their tyres and maybe lose speed that way. Or maybe they're going to try and race on sub 30% quality tyres, in which case we'd catch time on them as well. So it's almost like a win-win. Whichever they choose to do, it should benefit us, as long as we can manage our own tyre health. And I think we can, because it looks fine to me. We're slightly on top of the graph there. Norris may be slightly more challenging because he's on mediums, but for the time being I think we're okay. There we go. Perez is pitting. And I think we're going to see similar from other drivers now. Ocon's pitting. So we're ahead of Perez, both cars. Russell's overtaken us, kind of offsetting that, but I do expect him to pit again. And Hamilton. I mean, maybe the others. I mean, it sounds crazy, but we might win this race unless anything goes wrong. But let's, with that in mind, let's just keep an eye on our tyres and our fuel.
Require fuel lift off.
Okay.
So we don't want to be running out of fuel on a race. We've got a good chance of a high finish.
Confirm.
See, Perez is like 20 seconds behind us now, with less than that. Well, with 20 laps to go. Yeah, they've put the softs on, but I don't see them making up the amount of time they've lost by pitting. Sainz is pitting now, so we should be overtaking Sainz. Carlos Sainz, yeah. Ooh. Do we? I think we will. There he goes. Up to 5th. How those Mercs looking? It's possible. I think Bottas will pit again as well. Oh, if we could get a podium, that would just be amazing. And this is where the strategy is, as good as your car quality and driver quality. If you've got a good strategy, you can mitigate having a less good car or drivers than some of the other teams. So we're going to overtake Russell, are we? I mean, we're 7 seconds off the top now. Here we go, Verstappen and Hamilton are pitting, Alonso's pitting, Bottas is pitting.
Mercedes moved up a place.
It seems crazy to say, but we might get podium finishes here. So we're now 3rd and 4th. Don't spin, don't lock up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Leclerc and Russell pit as well. I mean, Sainz is 15 seconds behind Norris. And he might make that up. He could make that up. But some of these cars won't. Like, I think we're in, you know, touch wood, ruling out anything terrible happening. I think we've got a good chance of a decent points finish here. Both drivers. So how many people are pitted twice? I think most drivers other than us are going to pit twice on this one. Leclerc's going in. We're only 8 seconds behind him. Oh, and Russell's gone in as well. Daniel Ricciardo is about to be first in the Spanish Grand Prix. Here we go. 1-2 for McLaren here now. I'm going to instruct... Oh, Norris has overtaken us. I'm going to instruct Ricciardo to not fight her teammate. I don't want them running each other off the road. Basically. So let's switch to Norris's car. I mean, this is mad. We've got a P1, P2 in McLaren in Spain. Leclerc's not even out the pits yet. So we've got 17 laps left. Position is, we are 13 and a bit seconds ahead of Ferrari in 3rd. Can we hold on? I mean, even our board, as grumpy as they are, as disappointed as they are in my performance, you'd think this would cheer them up a little bit. You'd think. God, every time I see them run a little bit wide or hit the curbs, I'm just fingers crossed that they don't spin out. Oh wow, this is good, and it's all down to strategy as far as I can tell. Very, very few of the drivers have only pitted once. Leclerc's catching a bit. I mean, hands on heart, I think we'll probably finish off the podium. I think probably the Red Bulls and Ferraris will both have enough to overtake us. But if we could finish, say, 5th and 6th ahead of the Mercedes, that would be incredible. I do have a bit of excess fuel to play with as well. I don't want to send it just yet necessarily. If they get sub 10 seconds, within less than 10 seconds of us, I might do it at that point. But I kind of just want to maintain this now for a little while. "12 seconds. We're holding it fairly steady ahead of the Ferraris, it must be said. Ooh, let's change the viewpoint a little bit. I'm very tense. Look at, there we are. Leclerc catching up a little bit. But we're now in lap 53 of 66, is it? Or is it 52? No, it's 52 of 66, so it's 15 laps remaining. If we can get it to within a second per lap and we're still ahead of Ferrari. That would be good. But I'm gonna speed it up a little bit now. We've kind of settled into a pattern here, I think. We're basically just trying to keep our lead. Back to 11. Yeah, so I think Leclerc is catching us, but not perhaps as fast as he might. We're doing all right. I do wish Ricciardo wasn't quite as close to Norris. I really don't want him running into him. I have said it to don't fight teammate. So there's sub 10 seconds now. Okay, let's go back to real time. And let's just push it a little bit more on the tyres and the fuel. On Norris, anyway. I'd like to grow the gap between him and Ricciardo if possible. So it's soon to be 13 laps left, around 10 seconds ahead. It sounds like a big gap, but I suspect there's a chance he could whittle that down astonishingly quickly. And even if he does overtake us, there is then a 2-second further gap to Verstappen. So, you know, I would still dream of a podium. It's about to be 12 laps left. Laps remaining. P1, P2. Sub 9 seconds gap now to Leclerc. I mean, another thing I'll probably do if Leclerc does get close is I'll push Ricciardo on to hold back people behind and the defend on the ERS. Which would hopefully prevent him from overtaking. Or at least, you know, delay him long enough that Norris can try and win the race. Yeah, we're going to speed up a little bit now. Oops. Right. How are tyres looking? Not bad. 11 laps to go. 8.5 seconds to Leclerc, who's gaining faster now. Eight seconds, the gap. I mean, he's in a much faster car at the end of the day. So, it's not that surprising. Sub 8 seconds now. 10 laps to go. 3 seconds between Leclerc and Verstappen. And what's he catching us? About half a second per lap, something like that, is it? Feels like about that. Is that enough? 7-second gap. We're into the ninth lap. 9 laps remaining. Less than 7 seconds gap now. Just over 7. Just going to go back down to aggressive on balanced, I think. 6.5 seconds. Sainz is now the driver behind Leclerc. Oh, we've had an incident. Well, if we get a replay of that, we'll see what it was.
That's the lockup.
Ooh,
Let's
Hamilton's
take a
locked
look
up.
at the replay. Now watch this. Lewis Hamilton involved in this one. That lockup could have cost them dearly.
So Hamilton down in 9th now. Seven laps to go, 5.5 seconds to Leclerc. He's nervous. Five seconds. Less than 5 seconds. Six laps. Gosh, remember when we were 13 seconds ahead? Seems like a long time ago now. 4 seconds. Less than 4 seconds. Shit. He's increasing his speed, isn't he? Four seconds again. Right, we're going to go back to normal time. And I think both our cars just have to really push for this last 5 laps.
We do not require any fuel liftoff.
Understood.
Time to go hunting. I leave it to you.
All right.
5 laps to go. 3
5
seconds
laps
to
go. 5 laps to
Leclerc.
go. Head down.
I'm going to set Ricciardo to defend and to hold back cars behind. It's time to start defending the first place, I think.
So focus on just bringing your tyre temperatures back under control for the moment.
Okay.
Let's have a look behind Ricciardo. What does it look like? I mean, he is still a distance away. He is catching, though. Four laps. 2 seconds to Leclerc. But I don't see Sainz. The good news is I don't see Carlos Sainz catching us if we can maintain this kind of performance. So, well, especially now Sainz is in 5th. Now he's overtaken. Him and Verstappen are sort of slugging it out. So they're dropping a bit behind because of that. I'm hoping Daniel can do his bit to just block us, or block Leclerc, I should say. So less than 2 seconds now. 3.5 laps to go. Oh, I've got butterflies. Oh, a win here would be lovely. We're actually a second ahead of Ricciardo now, should be pointed out. So we're actually 2.5 seconds ahead of Leclerc. Three laps. I'm actually going to turn the tyre aggression down a little bit. I'm a little worried about those.
Slow down now.
Keep the fuel where it is.
Confirm.
Leclerc is 0.03 of a second behind Ricciardo now. Who is a second behind us? Ricciardo's job now is to stop Leclerc at all costs, by any means necessary. And I think he's doing all right at it. I mean, it is, you know, if he can keep him behind, it's going to be second place for him. So it's not, you know, it's not without reward if he can pull it off. So we're about 2 seconds ahead of Leclerc now, and with Norris, and soon to be 2 laps to go. So he would have to be a second faster than us per lap. More like 2.5 seconds now. Let's have a quick look at Ricciardo. How is he doing? I mean, Leclerc's right there, isn't he? And he's doing his best to hold him back.
We'll have one more lap after this. One more lap after this.
Confirm.
It feels like a good strategy. Oh yeah, we're 2.5 seconds ahead of Leclerc now with Norris. And we've got a lap and a half to go. I'm not even going to tempt fate by saying anything, but I'm hopeful. Ricciardo's doing a brilliant job. 3.5 seconds now. That's proper team play there. I take back everything I said about you, Danny. You're doing sterling work. So we're coming up to the final lap. Tyres look good, fuel looks good. We're nearly 4 seconds ahead of Leclerc now as we lap a Williams.
Last lap.
Norris in P1, there we see it. Leclerc is right behind Ricciardo. They all are. He's leading a little train of them now. Let's keep an eye on this. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? I don't know, Red Bulls was trying to send it, but not on Danny's watch. You shall not pass. Right, let's go back to Norris. This is looking like a victory lap. Over 5 seconds now between him and Leclerc. This is looking very good. Potential P1, P2, but the P1 is the important thing right now, I think. I would want to turn Daniel's ERS up, but he's doing such a good job defending them. I think I might just keep it where it is. Here we go. Final corner. Final straight. The Barcelona Grand Prix winner is Lando Norris. Brilliant. Number 2, Daniel Ricciardo. Fantastic.
Lando Norris wins it. He's first over the line.
Unbelievable that was. And that's down to the strategy.
Okay, that's the checkered flag.
Good driving too, especially Ricciardo defending the
We'll take that.
Ferraris and Red Bulls.
Fail 84, please, mate. Fail 84.
I don't know what that means. But, yeah. If not for his defending, you know, I don't think we'd have won that race. I think he did really well just to hold everyone back. Daniel Ricciardo here. His little procession that he managed to keep at bay. And that gives us a good platform to build on. I mean, it should... I don't know, is that enough to overtake Alpha? Possibly. I mean, if we could somehow get 5th in the Constructors, and suddenly the board's going to be off my back. But let's speed this up now, because we've got a couple of very slow cars. Here we have it. Lando Norris.
Lando Norris can be proud. What a fantastic performance from him.
I'm not familiar with his career to date, but I would say that I'm going to guess this is his first
Imagine how tough
P1.
that must be. A podium is a real feat, and it's been accomplished in style.
Ricciardo's like, it should have been me.
And after such a fabulous drive here today, it's no surprise to see this man land on the podium. And after all that hard work, surely it's time for them to enjoy this moment.
It sure is.
McLaren have shown some serious chops here. A good result for the team from Surrey.
Absolutely. I imagine it'll be pats on the back all round, and deservedly so.
And after this result, the team is 4th in the constructor standings.
4th.
For the next Grand Prix, make sure you join us at the renowned.
Gotta check this out. Alright, there we go. Lando and Daniel Ricciardo. They both gained 13 places during the race. One stop there, you see. Who was the only other? I think there's only a couple of other. Well, everyone stopped twice except for Pierre Gasly and Tsunoda, and that's because they crashed. So there you go. What did we gain? 37 points? No. 35, 43 points. Norris is now up to 7th in the drivers. Ricciardo there at 10th. And constructors, look at that, we've overtaken Alpine and Alfa Romeo. Make us 4th. How about that then? Got a couple of development points there for the drivers. We paid out loads of bonuses. Okay, half our money went in bonuses to the drivers. I mean, I guess they deserve it, but might have been nice to have a bit more money coming in after winning the Grand Prix. They've got to be happy with me. Let's head to the board and see what they're saying. Board confidence. Satisfied. Well, they're delighted with Barcelona, to be fair. Season target was 5th or above. We're on target. They want to win it by 2026. We're way off that, I think. Let's have a look in our post box. Lando Norris claimed the checkered flag, finishing ahead of Daniel Ricciardo and Charles Leclerc. After qualifying in P14. Yeah. The board watched the race, and we could not be happier that he led the team to victory. Increased the board's confidence immensely. And I'm not surprised. Let's quickly go and spend our development points. So we've got Ricciardo. I might put it into cornering. And then we've got Lando didn't get one, did he? He must be quite close. Yeah. Theo got one. Reactions is low, but there must be other stuff we can... It'd be better to improve. Overtaking could be better. Let's go put it in overtaking. So there we go. Next up is Monaco in 4 days' time. Won't have our new parts for then either. But we'll see what we can do. Maybe we can put another winning strategy together and who knows? Sky's the limit. Well, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of F1 Manager 2022. I certainly enjoyed it. If you did like it, please do hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. And in the meantime, I hope to see you again. Bye for now.